Now let's talk to Matt Kim. He is a business owner in the Atlanta area. He's also a sometime podcaster. And I both really admire this about Matt and really, really resent it. He had maybe 2,000 followers on Twitter up to a few weeks ago. He starts posting videos, guys. And oh my gosh, the response. He put one up on Maui. It got like 1.5 million views. He put one up on Trump. It got more, like a 5 million. But meanwhile, here's why he's coming on today. He put up a message after the indictment of Donald Trump, the fourth one, this one in Georgia, his hometown, near his hometown there. And it got 3.7 million views because it was amazingly heartfelt and humble and dead on point. And I just will start by, I want you to hear this bite, and then let's talk to the man who made it.
The sole point of the indictments is to divide this country, to keep us occupied fighting each other. Republican versus Democrat, man versus woman, black versus white versus brown versus yellow, poor versus less poor. Don't get distracted. It's not us versus each other. It's us versus them. They're not trying to save democracy. They're trying to crush it. If you're watching from Georgia, if you are my neighbor, beware. Look at what they've done in other cities, other states. Homelessness, drugs, and violence. Burning it all down so they can build it back up and gain control. The talking head propagandists will surely plaster the news cycle. This time, we got him. What they really mean is, this time, we got you.
And I'm getting goosebumps, even though I've listened to this 5 different times. I hope someday to give an oration that has that kind of impact and has half as many of your 3.7 million views. Matt Kim, congratulations. Welcome to What's Bugging Me. So tell us, what has it been like since you put it up? And is this matter still bugging you?
Well, Dennis, thank you for having me. I appreciate you having me on. It's been a crazy few weeks, if anything, crazy couple of months. It's one of those things where you just start talking genuinely. You start talking from the heart. You start pointing out the obvious irregularities in the world. And somehow people started to listen, wanted to resonate with the message. And I think that's really all I try to do, which is, isn't it weird? What's really going on?
It was sincere. And I think one thing that, first of all, your message was so strategic and insightful. One thing you pointed out was that why is it that they're going after these indictments in certain areas? And you say they dominate the Democrats, all these other markets. They're not going there. Instead, they're going in the places that they want to dominate next. So you looked at it through this political lens. It was a lot more strategic than just get Trump. But that message of yours, Matt, that look, they're not trying to get Trump. They're trying to divide us. That was a thing that resonated with me most. Will you talk more about that?
Yeah, Georgia is one of those areas where obviously we've had election issues. This is an area that the Republicans and the Democrats, conservatives and the liberals do a really good job of getting along. And it is an area where both presidential candidates really need to win. And to see what's going on in the rest of the country, to bring it here, you can tell what they're trying to do, which is trying to divide the populace. Even the most liberals in Georgia, they go to church on Sundays. So the way that they're trying to bring it here, the way they're trying to keep people apart, the way that they're trying to make people fight one another, it's so obvious that this is really the end goal. They're trying to destroy Atlanta. And I think Atlanta and Georgia in general is the best place in the country to live. It's my favorite place. And I've said it so many times. If I could live anywhere in the world, I would stay exactly where I am.
Are you in Atlanta or outside in the suburb?
I'm out in the suburbs of Atlanta.
Uh-huh. And you've got your own business there. What business are you in?
So I own a commercial and industrial lighting company. We install LED lights into warehouses, manufacturing facilities, offices, etc.
All right.
And so I've been here for 14 years.
14 years. And so you know what it's like to own your own business and to be there. Now, do you think that liberal Democrats in Atlanta are in any way upset or see the political persecution nature of the latest Trump indictment?
I think we've become very accustomed to having a very low drama area And people understand this is a part of the country where everyone still says, yes, sir. Thank you, ma'am. That Southern hospitality is a real thing, that you can feel it in the energy of all the people around us. And they can feel the divisiveness, the drama coming to this area. And no one's happy about that, left or right.
Atlanta just had a few months ago. I think we talked about this on What's Bugging Me. There was the shooting incident. Police shot a guy who shot at them. This is where something like 50 or 100 people have inhabited the woods for months outside of this new police training facility that's under construction. And then a guy gets shot. The media reported to act as if the police shot first. And yet the cop ends up having a piece of the bullet from the assailant's gun taken out of his gut. But the media and there's Antifa people visiting there. So it's kind of strange that the district attorney has time to go after this Trump thing 2.5 years later.
And I did a little quick research into Fulton County Jail last night. It is one of the worst and poorly managed jails in the whole country. We have a huge problem in Fulton County Jail of bugs, of inmates dying. We have a problem of almost 500 inmates that sit there unindicted, but yet in prison for over 90 days. So they don't have the time to even charge the people that are sitting in the jail cells, in lice-infested cells with malnourishment, without proper care, but yet they have the resources to go after the Trump. And not only are they going after Trump with all the lack of resources that they have, is that it's so poorly run that they need to spend $1.7 billion to build a brand new jail. That the DOJ came into on July 13th, they came in to open up an investigation into the prison and into what's going on because so many inmates were dying. And as soon as the DOJ shows up to do their investigation, all of a sudden, they're indicting Trump. Isn't that just so coincidental?
Yeah. Do you feel it in a community? Because most of us, we go back and forth to work. We go home, we're with our spouse and our kids and our pets and stuff. And so maybe you don't feel it. Maybe you don't have enough interaction with other people. But do you think you and your neighbors feel this division or the efforts that are going on to divide? Do you think that they've reacted at all? Have you talked to anyone locally about the situation since Trump was indicted?
I think this is a very pro-Trump area, especially in the suburbs of Atlanta. The suburbs of Atlanta are extremely conservative. And there are a lot of immigrants in this area that seem very conservative. And everyone can feel kind of what's going on out here. I think we'll really start to see what the repercussions are and what the results will be in about 2 days when they come and actually do the booking of Trump. And he's going to be here on Thursday.
Do you know if any protests are planned or people planning to show up and watch? It always draws quite a crowd, it seems like.
Yeah, I saw the local MAGA movement people organizing rallies to go out in front of the Fulton County Jail on Thursday.
That'll be interesting. Do you know much about this Fani Willis, the district attorney? I've looked into some of her work, and the New York Times a year ago, or maybe two, did a story in which a judge really kind of gave Fani somewhat of a spanking because she hosted a Democrat fundraiser for, against a Republican that was going to be a likely target of Fani herself's investigation of Trump. And then the judge also chided her for, why are you on national television talking about this case right in the middle of your running a grand jury? So what else do you hear about Fani? What do you think of her?
Well, she's very popular in the sense that she seems to be hanging out at all the nightclubs, doing bottle service with local celebrities and living her best life. So she is not suffering for any reason. She looks like she's enjoying herself quite a bit. It's interesting.
I love it I love it when someone loves their work, and you go at it with alacrity. And so she's probably having a ball and enjoying the celebrities. And I'm sure in her circles, they're just saying, way to go, attaboy, good for you.
I don't feel like it, though. I mean, I understand that there's a rhetoric of liberals are very happy with the indictments of Trump. I don't really feel that here in Georgia. I feel like people are really upset that this is coming here. The people in Georgia want to be kind of left alone. We are very happy with where we are. The standard of living is very good. People over here are extremely just content to live their lives. And no one likes it when unnecessary drama shows up at your doorstep.
Well, I think that people who hate Trump and who are watching this, including my former colleagues in the media, I think they're saying Trump is just an outlier, and once we get rid of him, things will go back to normal. But I think no. I think that Trump breaks the system. The hatred of him causes these misdeeds, but then I think the misdeeds will stick with us and be applied to other lesser political figures in the future. What do you say?
It's like every bad habit, isn't it? Where you just say, okay, just one time, I'm going to break the rules. I'm going to do something. And then it becomes a second time. It becomes a third time. It becomes a fourth time. And after a while, it becomes normal.
Yeah.
So for them to say this is the only time, we've all been down that slippery slope. It
Right.
never ends.
And in a similar sense, Matt, if you think about the search on the president's private home, which was so outrageous, so improper in every way, and then a little local police search and a local feud of the Marion County Record, a newspaper in Marion County, Kansas. And I can't help but thinking that the police down there could be emboldened by seeing what the FBI agents serving a search warrant on the home of Donald Trump are doing. Do you think, Matt, what do we do to become less and less divided? By the way, last week on What's Bugging Me, in my parting shot, we played we played a cover of Tracy Chapman's Fast Cars, which is this song about someone wanting to escape despair and hoping for a better life. And here this white country singer sings a song done by a black R&B lesbian artist 35 years ago. And it made me feel like we are more together and more united than our leaders want us to know. And they are trying to divide us because it helps them reelect themselves politically. But do you think anything can be done about this? Do you think that we're more divided than I'm thinking?
I think people are more together than we're giving credit for. I think people are closer together than they want you to believe. That our values and our ideas aren't as polarizing as they want you to think they are. I think the most important thing is that people continue to have these conversations, to speak out. I think that's why I do what I do, because I get a message all the time. I get a message all day long. And they say, Matt, you're so brave. I can't believe you're willing to say these things. And I always respond, you can say it too. There is nothing stopping you for speaking out, for questioning what's going on in the world. It's this fear that they're driving to make you seem like you can't say these things. And I think that's the scariest part of what we're dealing with, is that people are legitimately scared to question. And we have every right to question authority, to question the ruling class, to question what's going around us, and take a second to say, it just doesn't seem right anymore, doesn't it? And I encourage people to do that, to speak out, because people say, oh, it's hard for me because I live in California. And I respond, hey, someone else messaged me. Probably that's your neighbor. You just have to go out and have these conversations, and you'll be surprised how not alone you really are.
I love that, Matt, Kim. I want to so much try to one up you and say something meaningful here, but man, we're just going to let that sit right there, because that is resonant, just like your original message was. It got almost 4 million views, and I hope you get even more now. And I hope you'll come on What's Bugging Me again, okay? Thank you so much for your time, and have a glorious day.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you. Thank you, everybody.